Hey, this is the assembly video for the BF-60. By now you should have received the correct number of boxes. Check that out. And of course, step one, lay all the parts out, check them in, make sure they match the manual. We're going to start by having the bench assembled facing the camera. So right now, if you can organize your parts, locate parts 3 and the part number 10. 10 are the plates, these here. There's 2 of them. They're pretty heavy. These will start the assembly process. Okay, I've kind of separated a little playing field here to make it easier. I've got parts 3 and parts 10 ready to go. I laid them out quite a bit. Get your nuts and bolts handy for you. So we're going to attach the diamond plates like these guys to the main frames. Finger tight all the nuts and bolts until everyone's together, and then we'll tighten them more firmly. Okay, I have part 20. There's 8 of these in the package. These are the longest and strongest bolts. They'll start the main frame. So let's go ahead and apply 2 nuts and bolt sets per diamond plate around the entire frame. Okay, just for clarification on part number 3, there is a front and there is a back. The front has all the holes, the larger holes, 6 of them. Those are for the band pegs for doing the bench press eventually. So those 6 holes will face the front of the unit. All right, once you have your plates in position, I would suggest to tighten down nuts and bolts so there's still some play in the plates, but not as much as this right here. So tighten those up so they can still move around. Then we'll do the uprights inside the sections. Now you have parts 1 and 2. They look similar laying down, but when you stand them up, you can see the difference. Part 1 goes to the front of the bench. Part 2 goes to the rear of the bench. These will nestle in between the diamond plates you have down there as far as the main frame. So rest these inside and bolt them in place. Do both sides, front, back, tallest to shortest. Okay, we have the uprights in place, finger tight. We've got the Valor logo facing outward. So now let's get, there are 2 part 14s. They will connect the 2 A-frames together, but you're going to go through the remaining 2 holes on the uprights. So in essence, you're going to have 3 pieces connected by 2 bolts. So they're both the same. They can only go one direction. So you'll put this guy in here, slide it through, and find his other side. Okay, we have the uprights in place, the cross beams in place. I still have the nuts and bolts kind of finger tight. There's still some play. Until all the parts find their home, I would suggest leave it with a little bit of play. It helps adjust the nuts and bolts easier. So let's go to the next step and attach the cross beams that go up top. Okay, if you can locate parts 4 and part 5, they look identical or similar from a distance, but they are different as far as the slant. You want the Valor facing outward. So here's the slant right here. It'll go in place and connect on that side. Same over here, the Valor slant will connect on this side. Okay, I've got the cross beams in place. Let's go ahead and do these spotter stands. Those are the 2 large pieces of metal. Got the diamond plate design. They will rest on the cross beams. It's smart to lay the undercarriage for the actual pad itself down while you can see the holes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 open. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 open. I've got this guy centered here. So let's go ahead and mount him or her. Since these are the only 2 bolts that fasten the bench pad to the frame, you can tighten them down firmly now. On these spotter stand plates, you actually have 2 options as far as locations. You can put it on these 2 holes here or this one here. I would suggest closer in the better. All right, we're almost done. We can attach the safety arms each side. There's no left or right. They're symmetrical, so take your pick which side to go. Finger tight those down. Once these are in place, we're going to start to firmly fasten all the nuts and bolts. Okay, from a nuts and bolts point of view, all that's left is the bench pad. I would suggest do that last so you have more room to maneuver around the bench itself doing the nuts and bolts. So right now, tighten everybody down as firmly as you can. Okay, everybody's tightened down. Now it's time to go ahead and put the seat pad on. You have the band pegs. You want the Valor more to the head portion. Okay, all the nuts and bolts are tight. Now all the accessory pieces can go in place. You have your safety arms. Holes face outward. One each side. You have the band pegs, 2 each side. You have the J-hook for the bar itself, 1 each side. Plate storage in the back, 2 each side. And those actually come with popper pins or locking pins to hold it in place. There are two small little locking pins in the back for the J-hook bar. Gives it some stability. And that is the BF-60 assembly video. Any questions, give us a call or email at info@valorfitness.com.